Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Shanika and today's yin yoga class is going to be in honor of the autumn equinox. But before we begin today's class, I just wanted to extend a huge thank you to Carrie Dayton. She has a vlogging channel and she did my low back love video. And since then, I've noticed a huge surge of supporters on my channel. So I just wanted to say thank you to her and a welcome to all the new subscribers here on my page. And if you are already a subscriber, thank you for continuing to support this channel. And if you haven't already, hitting that like and subscribe button to make sure that you are notified every time I upload a video. But again, it also lets me know what sort of content that you are enjoying and the content that I should keep creating. So getting into today's video, the fall equinox, we cannot really honor the fall equinox without first giving thanks for summer. So just like seasons change, summertime is a time where we are more active, we're probably accomplishing a lot more things, we're more productive, we're consuming less. We're really just getting things done in the summer. It's more, like I said, of an active time. So that's a point in our lives where we're planting seeds. You're trying to manifest things that you want to accomplish. So autumn is really our time to say thank you for all of those accomplishments, connections that were built, whatever it is that had happened for you in summer. Autumn is now your opportunity to give thanks for everything that had happened and move into a more dormant phase. So autumn, the days are shorter, gets darker sooner, you're probably consuming more, and you're maybe feeling not as uppity as you might be feeling in the summer. Maybe you're feeling a little bit sad, maybe a little bit depressed, which is normal because just like the seasons change and the earth change, so do we. And sometimes I think we forget how connected we are to the earth. So if you're experiencing those things, just know that it's normal. So this sequence today is really going to allow us to turn inwards and reflect and become more connected with ourselves. So in traditional Chinese medicine, autumn is associated with the lung and large intestine meridians. So a lot of the poses that we are going to be doing in today's class will be targeting those specific meridians. For this class, you are going to need 2 blocks and I would suggest grabbing a comfy pair of socks for our last posture in Shavasana. So let's go ahead and get started with our first posture, which will be an intense toe squat. Don't hate me, but this pose targets all of the meridians when you compress your toes. So let's go ahead and get started. So finding a tabletop position with your toes tucked under, bringing the big toes to touch if you can. You're going to sit up and place your weight back onto your heels, dragging your pinky toes forward, closing the eyes here, drawing the shoulders away from the ears, and down the back. Nice deep breaths. If you'd like, you can stay here or go ahead and grab on a hold of opposite elbows. Just noticing where you are in space. Maybe you're leaning too far forward. Maybe you're tensing your shins, trying to soften that area. Last few breaths here. Noticing the quality of your breaths. Let's go ahead and take our last two breaths. Nice big inhale. And sigh it out. One more inhale. And gently exhale. Gently opening the eyes if they were closed. Release the grip from the elbows. Plant your palms in front of you. Untuck the toes. You can rotate through the ankle. Wiggle the toes. Maybe tap the toes on top of the mat. And from here, we'll make our way into our next posture, which is melting heart. So finding yourself back in that tabletop position where your shoulders are in line with your wrists. You're going to leave your knees where they are. You can bring your big toes to touch and maybe open the knees a little bit if that feels better for you. You're then going to walk your hands out, and you're not walking them straight out in front of you. You're walking them more towards the corners of your mat. So you're making a V shape with your arms. You're going to take a nice big inhale here. And on an exhale, you're going to allow the chest and the heart to melt. If you can't bring your chin to the mat, always bring the forehead. Last few breaths. Last two breaths. Nice big inhale. And sigh it out. One more inhale. And exhale. Opening the eyes. Push into the palms. Round forward. And just bring your belly onto the mat. You can stack palm on palm. Just let the forehead rest for a moment. Gently opening the eyes and lifting the gaze. So you might just want to readjust yourself. Maybe just shimmy your hips from side to side a little bit, opening up the space there. So from here, we're going to be making our way into a Sphinx seal combination. So go ahead and bring your feet as wide as your mat. And you want everything below the waist to be nice and soft. So you don't want to be squeezing your glutes or lifting your kneecaps. Everything is nice and soft. Go ahead and bring your shoulders so that they're in line with your elbows. And then just notice if you're sinking into your shoulder girdle, you're looking to lift up and out, and then draw the shoulders away from your ears and down the back. So it's almost as if you're trying to drag your hands towards your hips or your elbows towards your hip points. Just softening the gaze here, feeling slight compression in the low back. If you're feeling a pinching sensation, then I invite you to just lower or open your elbows a little wider so that you're not compressing or feeling any of that pinching sensation in the low back. Remembering to always come back to the breath. If you'd like to go a little bit deeper for these last few breaths, simply turn your hands to the top corners of your mat, push into your palms, and lift the elbows. Again, drawing the shoulders away from the ears and down the back. Last few breaths here. Last 2 breaths. Nice big inhale. And side out. One more inhale. Thinking about bringing the breath all up underneath the armpits. Open the mouth and sigh it out. Just gently lower onto your forearms. Stack your palm one on top of another and let the forehead rest. So gently opening the eyes, and just go ahead and shimmy your legs closed and maybe just rock your hips from side to side. Maybe even bend the knees and just windshield wiper your knees side to side. So go ahead and extend the legs straight back down onto the mat. You're going to go from here and extend that right arm straight out beside you into like a T position. So when your arm is out beside you, you want to make sure that your hand is just a little bit higher than your shoulder, because if it's too low, you'll miss the stretch. So you want it just a little bit higher than your shoulder. You're going to go ahead and spider your left fingertips beside you. Bring your right temple to the mat. Bend the left knee and roll onto your right side, keeping your right temple on the mat. You can bend the left knee towards the ceiling. And if having the left knee bent is too much, you can always stack both knees on top of each other. And if you'd like, you can always take that left hand up and around and place it onto your low back. And this is a smaller joint, so we won't be here for quite as long. Last few breaths here. Let's take our last 2 breaths. Nice big inhale. And sigh it out. Again, inhale. And gently exhale. So if you have that left knee bent, go ahead and collapse the knee. Take your left hand from out behind you. Bring it beside you to help roll your belly and torso back onto the mat. You can let your forehead rest on your left palm, leaving the right arm out until you're ready to draw it down beside you. Really taking these few moments to take everything in. So we'll go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. So extending the left arm out to the left, making sure that your thumb is just a little bit higher than your shoulder. Bring your left temple to the mat. Spider your right fingertips beside you. Bend your right knee. Roll onto your left side, keeping the knee bent towards the ceiling, or you can collapse it. And bringing the right arm up and around onto your low back. Last few breaths here. deep breaths. Nice big inhale. And sigh it out. One more inhale. And exhale. Collapsing the knee. Bring the right arm from out behind you, beside you. And help support yourself to roll back onto your belly and torso. You can allow the forehead to rest. The right hand. And gently opening the eyes, we'll make our way into our next posture. So for this next posture, you can think about it as like you're trying to mimic a stingray. So we'll be twisting or leaning in a way like we would be if we were in a banana, but we would also be getting a nice inner groin and hip stretch at the same time. So what you're going to do is from this position with both legs down behind you, you're going to bend your right knee so that your right knee is in line with your right hip. You're then going to stack palm on top of palm and you're going to twist to the right. So you're trying to bring your right elbow to touch your right kneecap. So right away you should be feeling a nice stretch through the left side body and a nice stretch through the inner right groin. And go ahead, you can allow the forehead to rest. Last few breaths here. take our last 2 breaths. Nice big inhale. Inside out. Again, inhale. And gently exhale. Lifting the gaze. Just go ahead and come back to center. Allow the palms to stack again. Just allowing everything to readjust, rebalance. And then when you're ready, you can bring the legs closed again. And maybe shimmy the hips from side to side. So we'll go ahead now and do the same variation on the other side. So bending the left knee so that your left knee is in line with your left hip. And go ahead and see if you can bring your left elbow to touch your left kneecap. Feeling a nice stretch through that right side body, but also a nice stretch in the left groin. Allowing the head to rest in the elbows. Last few breaths here. Last 2 breaths. Nice big inhale. And side out. One more inhale. And exhale. Lifting the gaze. Go ahead and just center yourself back on your mat. Bringing the forehead back to stacked palms for a moment. And when you're ready, drawing your left foot down to meet the right. You shimmy your hips from side to side. We'll go ahead from here, push into our palms, and find ourselves in a child's pose. Just very brief, we won't stay for too long. Really just trying to stretch out and lengthen through that back area. You can stack fist on fist and just allow the forehead to rest a moment. Let's go ahead from here and sit up. And if you had socks, go ahead and grab them. I'm just going to I have these lovely old reading socks. They're nice and warm. You're just going to put your socks on and then come to lay all the way down onto your back. Go ahead and bring the soles of the feet to touch. We'll be taking reclined butterfly. And go ahead and bring your right hand to your belly and your left hand over your heart. So feeling the hand move away with every inhale. And noticing the rhythm, the beating of your heart with the left. So in a yin yoga practice, your temperature does drop. So by now, towards the end of the practice, you might be feeling cooler. It's always nice to add some some layers. And as you lay here, taking these moments to give thanks as we step out of our growth season into our more dormant, self-reflective season. Last few breaths. Let's take our final 2 breaths of this practice. Nice big inhale. Exhale, release. One more inhale. Exhale, let it go. Moving your hand from your heart and your belly. Just extending your legs out wide, arms out wide for your Shavasana. Really taking these last few moments to give thanks. Because what a wonderful experience it is for us to go through life on this earth